So it's finally here, the Transformers and G.I. Joe mashup. This is the third one we got, and it's the Dreadnok Thunder Machine and Soundwave. Here's the box. I just received it yesterday, I think. Got it from Amazon. The box is beautiful. I love these mashup boxes where they have the G.I. Joes on the one side and the Transformer on the other side. The art is just beautiful. The back looks nice, shows off everything. Looks really good. And here we can see a close-up of the painting. I love how they do that. They do the split, and they usually have like kind of a cutout the way that Zartan's like hanging over on the other side, over Soundwave a little bit. And then just the inner box with everything in there. Man, it looks nice. Soundwave looks really good and way bigger than I thought he would. Now, let's get this stuff out of its packages and check it out. All right, we're going to start off with Zarana. So you can see her packaging looks really cool. If you'd like to collect the packaging, keep them in the packaging, it's pretty nice. I will say, look at mine's bent. It's kind of that thin cardstock that a lot of folks are complaining about. And mine's kind of bent. It's definitely not mint. So if you're, a collector going to keep it on the card, you might want to be aware of that. Check that. And I don't know if you can return it to get a smoother one or, flatter one. But I take them off the card, obviously. Just don't care about that. But it's cool. They come with a stand, come with the different equipment. She's got her kind of like spinning blade weapon that she had traditionally. I did note these are like really like a flat black. It's not like even like just a really dark gray. So you don't really see any of the detail. The flat paint kind of kills a lot of the highlights, so you don't get a lot of the details showing up. Maybe it doesn't look as dark as it does in the video, but I thought that could have been different. And then the figure looks pretty good. Her face looks a little more detailed and better than before. And there's the side by side, so compared to the original, pretty true to the original design. You can see the arm paint is a little weird on the lower arm. Like that is something that happens with their O-rings. Also, I'm not sure why there's no detail on her back. I really think the original sculpt just did a really good job of like adding more detail at that scale. Where I think some of these like more modern sculpts that are done digitally, sometimes it doesn't come through as well. And so here's Zartan. Looks pretty good. His packaging, I think that painting just looks bizarre. Like I don't know what's up with his big head. But it's cool. That image is awesome. The one from the box, it's just fantastic. So much action there. And the card, his card was fine. It looks like really nice and smooth, unlike Zarana's. So I did note this though, it wasn't fully glued down. So again, if you're keep it in the box on the card collector, be aware of that stuff. So I don't know if it was like the humidity or something made it separate, but it wasn't glued down. I lost the head there. Let's pause and come back when we find it. Okay, let's see. This is the same kind of flat black as Zarana's stuff, but it's very reminiscent of the the original case. So you can pop it open, it locks shut, and you can put Zartan's disguise face in there. I kind of like his eyes, but the face goes on really well. It's a little monotone. It's all brown. The eyes aren't black or anything. Everything's just brown on that print. But the face locks in pretty well and looks pretty good. Definitely like the original toy. And you can see there's a space, to hold the mask. I tried putting it in that way, but it definitely fits the other way. So the face is coming out, but that's, fits really good. Locks shut. The originals, you kind of have to watch the tabs that hold that shut because they can break off. And there's my original Zartan side by side. I kind of like the green eyes. I think that's kind of neat. You don't have the transparent shell. My Zartan's not, as you can see, mint, but it's pretty good interpretation of Zartan. I kind of like the silver part. I think that's pretty neat. On his chest plate, his upper body. I don't think the pants have the same amount of like styling and curves, but it's pretty good. The black areas seem a little bit soft, but for the most part, it's really awesome. It's really nice to have a new Zartan that I can mess around with and not worry about breaking. This is something that happened when I bent the elbow. The paint flaked off, and that was a little worrying. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but the lower arms on both these figures are painted. I'm not sure what the color of the plastic actually is if it's that black, and then they had to paint the skin tone over it. But I checked both elbows, and it was that one side that was like really kind of crumbly. But I couldn't see where it came off of. I think it might have been the maybe the rivet or something like that, but it didn't seem too bad. And their hands are awesome. I love these new hands on the new O-rings. You don't have to worry about the thumbs breaking off or anything like that, and they hold their weapons. I did notice the leg was a little bent. I might try boiling that and seeing if I can fix it. And there's Soundwave standing next to Zarana and Zartan. He looks awesome. I love the size. He looks like the old school Soundwave. So really digging that. Some of the pieces just showing in a little more detail. That's the one thing. The cage on the front of the Thunder Machine is a little thick. You'll see later why they made it so thick, but felt a little weird. And then here is Ravage, which is cool. He goes inside Soundwave, which is really cool. When I was a kid, I didn't have many Transformers. I think I had Optimus Prime, but I definitely had Ravage. I had the like the black version of him, and I always thought it was cool, just like carry around in your pocket, as if go into your Walkman or something like that. But it's pretty neat. You can see there like Soundwave. He opens up just like an old Walkman or cassette player. It's not spring loaded though. It's like kind of a gravity thing, so sometimes it doesn't really open. And here you can see you can take Ravage, stick him in there, and he can download the data he acquired while spying on G.I. Joe or the Autobots or whatever. It only goes in the one way, and there aren't the little kind of spindle things that spin the cassette. I don't know if the original Soundwave had that, but it's pretty cool. It's feels like a little cassette player. It'd be neat though. I think the chest could be transparent. That would have been neat if you could actually see the cassette in there. It's just kind of a dark plastic. And here's some more detail of that engine. And then let's take a look at Ravage and take him apart. So the transformation, it's different than the original. I remember the original being really easy. Everything just kind of like kind of turned out in one plane. But that meant that he wasn't very wide. I don't think his stance, he could like spread his legs out or do anything to really stand up. But also too, he was die cast. I remember his legs or part of his legs being die cast, and this guy is all plastic. The whole thing is plastic and very shiny, kind of like light plastic. I will say too, it's very colorful. You'll see when I put it next to the original Thunder Machine, it's way more saturated, the colors, than the original G.I. Joe vehicle. But this is pretty easy to transform. You just kind of, rotate everything out to the side. The head kind of comes together in the middle. And then the legs are on ball joints. So that's kind of neat if you really want to pose Ravage and, more aggressive, posing style, or, like he's running or, jumping on a G.I. Joe or something like that. It affords you a lot more flexibility with that. And, pretty cool little character. I'm really excited they threw him in there. Because I think if you get the Transformers, you might have to buy the cassettes separately. So it was neat that they threw him in. Yeah, so he's looking really good. I'm really excited we got him. And he's got like a little kind of leash that Zarana or Zartan can take him for a walk. Or I guess Soundwave could take him for a walk. But pretty cool. And let's take a look at Soundwave a little bit more. Here's his, I guess this is from the Thunder Machine. The kind of like double Vulcan cannon thing that was on the hood of the car. So it's a pretty cool, impressive weapon. You just kind of have to pop in the barrels, and then it works. And it rotates just like the original Thunder Machine. The the links, the bullets, kind of the belt-fed kind of Vulcan thing goes through it. Just like the original. So it's kind of cool, little like play feature there. And then that goes on his shoulder, and so does the engine from the Thunder Machine, sort of like a giant rocket launcher kind of thing. Kind of reminiscent of the scope from Megatron, but you can see there that little thing inside the engine wasn't that great. That little like gray snap piece. I wish they hid that a little bit better, but Overall, he looks really cool. I'm not too harsh on my Transformers or having like hollow parts or, little extra stuff in the back. He just looks really cool. Um, like the coloring, like, just matches kind of like the original Soundwave, the kind of one that I saw in the cartoons. And again, I wasn't a big collector at all of Transformers, but watched the cartoon and this just feels like Soundwave. So I'm excited to have him next to Megatron. He was always like Megatron's guy, very loyal to him and always helping out. All right, so let's do a quick 360, just kind of turn him around so you can see him from all angles. I've got him in kind of like a little better action pose because he's really poseable and keeps his balance really well. They use those seats for the feet, which I didn't like at first, but it seems to work really well. So I'm excited to get this guy into his other modes. Let's turn him into the Thunder Machine and see how that goes and how he looks. So I just did a time lapse of this. For the most part, it's not too bad. The front kind of comes together. His arms come together and form the front of the Thunder Machine. The problem I had was with the back legs. They're really tricky. Like you have to turn this part, 90 degrees and this one like not fully, and trying to figure out like where this folds into that. The legs were the tough part, but and the directions weren't super clear. They're kind of just have like arrows, like spinning, and they're like turn it this way, and you've no idea really what to do. But with a little fiddling, I got it. It locks in really good, really tight, and in the end, it felt like a really good Thunder Machine. All his weapons, the Gatling gun and the engine pop on really good, and the back panels pop on, and it's a really tight vehicle in the end. So here is the Thunder Machine. This is the G.I. Joe Transformers crossover Thunder Machine, and it looks really good. Like I was saying, it's really tight. It I'm wiggling it there, trying to see if any parts shake. Rolls pretty good. Not as good as the original, but not bad. And so here's the original side by side. That's what most people be kind of interested in. So you can see that the coloring is a bit more saturated. Kind of that like cranberry red is really popping on the new one. Same with the blue. The blue is, very blue. And there's a lot of gray where it stays kind of black on the original. The big thing that pops out to me is that kind of roll cage thing, the kind of ram barricade thing on the front, how thick those pieces are. But I think they did that just because of the transformation, and they have to it has to split down the middle and come back together. The one on the original Thunder Machine is just like notorious for breaking, and it's held under tension and breaking. The panels and stuff are a little tighter on the new one. They kind of hang loose, which is kind of neat when you're rolling the Thunder Machine around. It feels like armor that's just kind of hung on the side of this, whatever it is, a Firebird or something with a rocket and jet engine kind of put into it. But and the tires too. The original has like these great like rubber tires, and the new one, they're just plastic. But I mean, the transformation's great. It really looks like the original. The biggest thing for me is just the color. I just would have toned that down a little bit. But here we've got the new figures next to the new Thunder Machine, and the vintage ones next to their vintage machine, and really cool, really great. Overall, I just think it's an awesome set. I'm excited by this. I hope they do more of these. I wonder what they do next. Probably a G.I. Joe kind of vehicle, maybe some kind of air vehicles. They've been doing ground stuff, I guess, because of Autobots and that kind of stuff. But I don't know. Excited for what the future holds. Will Super 7 do some of these? That could be exciting too. So that's it for this video. I think we are done with our walkthrough of this new set. I hope you enjoyed the video and got something out of it. And I hope we'll see you in the next video. Yo, Joe.